I think for maybe like the last 10 years, maybe 12, 13, 15-ish years, I think we've actually been in a golden age of music because of a lot of the things we've talked about, but also because, but I also think that we are on the last days of the golden age because the industry because look, when streaming first came out, a lot of the indie bands I listened to, right? Like they wouldn't have survived 20 years ago. No way. But now, I mean, a lot of indie artists I listen to, you go to their Spotify pages, they've got 2 million monthly listeners. You can sustain, you're not going to be like the Foo Fighters. You're not going to be like, arena rock, rich rock stars. But you can still sustain a life streaming 2 million followers a month. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think, the SoundCloud era included with the early days of streaming are the golden era. But I think now, like you kind of said before you could kind of get around the industry. But I think the industry is beginning to take over the streaming world. And now you can't get on the pages. You can't get yourself out there without sort of succumbing to the industry a little bit. So my question and point is, do you think we were in a golden age the last 15 years? If so, do you agree that it's the beginning of the end of that golden age?
I see what you're talking about, and I think if I were to break it down myself, I would say that we are in a transitioning period of the industry. And our beginning is really depending on your perspective or point of view, to be honest, because you have to be the non-variant. And then it depends what end of the spectrum you are. That means some people that benefit from it or people that are not benefiting from it. Yes, as an artist, when these platforms were just made available, a lot of people struggle too. That's not part of the story. A lot of people struggle that never went anywhere. And then until people start paying attention, that's when it translated into you get money from it. Because the first artist to have, let's say, 1 million stream, because that's not much. The first artist to have 1 million stream on SoundCloud might be a nobody, might be somebody that's not rich, let's say, for example. And then, so it probably came after that people really started making more money. Now, you can be an independent artist streaming 2 million per month, not signed to anybody. So the individual artist, or let's say the independent route, is actually becoming what to do. And the thing is to be one day not be tied down to these contracts, able to control their merchandise. That means putting out songs, getting bigger cuts, selling their own merch, clothing, apparel, creating their own tours and concerts, keeping the most of the money. Because at the end of the day, it's a money thing. So how can I keep most of the money? Because that's how I'm able to survive the longest. And I don't depend on, I'm no longer the popular one. Or the industry or the label doesn't like me anymore. Because we have a lot of artists today that are our favorite artists, but we don't hear of them. We think it's because their time passed, but no, executive decisions. Oh, we have somebody better.
Wow. Before you answer,
wow.
I guess what I fear, what you're saying, I fear that the industry is starting to dig their nails into the modern way we consume music. Like, you're right. For a long time, all these artists were able to bypass the industry, right? And I feel like, because if you think about it now, I sort of work in the music industry. It's Richard doesn't even get it, and I've explained it to him many times. What everybody talks about now is, I got to get on a Spotify certified playlist. I got to get on the main page of Spotify. I got to get on, and these things are, the industry is beginning to turn the lever slowly back in their direction. In the idea that they control who gets onto these Spotify certified playlists. They control who's the artist of the week on iTunes, And that's what I'm sort of saying is like, I feel like the end is near because of that.
The
end of this golden era where people were, and I hear what you're saying. The golden era, it's all about perspective, and it is all about like my own perspective, and obviously I'm not thinking about all the people, like you said, in the early and who were getting streams on Napster, who were, like you said, there were a while on SoundCloud there was no monetization at all. Yeah. So you're right. I mean, there were probably artists on there who got millions and millions of streams that didn't make.
They're cool. We might know the underground, but
right. So I am sort of ignoring a lot of that stuff when I'm talking about this, but I do sort of feel like at my core there was something special going on in like the last 10 to 15 years. Yeah.